For this particular meditation, excuse my workout gear, I'm about to hit the treadmill upstairs. But I was reflecting on something that I see is a struggle, and it's a tool that the enemy uses so many times to plague those of us who have answered a call from God or feel a clarion call of God as far or things concerning our particular gift. I was reflecting over an altar call being given out by a preacher. And, we were in this particular service, and my wife came up because he gave an area of concern for some, and she was standing proxy for someone in our family. And she went up, and, all of a sudden the eyebrows are raised because what's the preacher's wife doing going up? Or it'd be the same way if a preacher came up right in the middle of an altar call. We can have altar calls for deliverance, altar calls for breakthroughs, and when the preacher goes up, we look at him crazy. But on this particular meditation, I saw a passage of scripture that kind of belies some of these things, and I saw it in a whole new way. Today's particular meditation will be struggles in your own household. Struggles in your own household. I want to reflect on what the Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians 12, verses 6 through 11. It reads as follows: For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool, for I will say the truth, but now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me. And verse 7, and lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, Paul wrote, therefore will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. I want to focus to right where he said right here. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. Now here is Paul, who's talking about this thorn, this messenger of Satan that was sent to buffet him, to beat him, lest he be exalted above measure, lest he is seen to be lest he starts to be seen as being unearthly because of the revelations. His gift is so magnificent, but what kept him grounded, that's it, Steve. What kept him grounded was the thorn that he had in his flesh. He had a struggle in his own household. He said he went to the Lord, he besought the Lord 3 times that it might depart from me. And God said to him, my grace, my unmerited favor is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. That word perfect is made mature, that it's at its maximum, that it's made manifest, it's at its apogee, its apex, that his strength is made perfect in weakness. Look, child of God, no matter how gifted you may be, you can still have a struggle in your own household. The enemy uses our struggles to try to discredit us, to insert fear, to put doubts as to whether we're called or not. But Paul, who in Philippians 3, now this is Paul reading his own resume, and I want you to know that Paul wasn't just anybody. First of all, he wrote most of the New Testament. But in Philippians 3, verses 5 through 7, Paul gives his particular resume. Circumcised in the eighth day, of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law of Pharisee, concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteous, which is the law, blameless. But what things were gain to me, those I counted for loss. Now, Paul gives us his ecclesiastical resume, which is astounding, but right in the midst of his having such an astounding resume, so much hoopla over his particular gift, he still had a struggle in his own household. The scriptures never gives what his thorn is. It's thought to be that his thorn was some type of trouble with his eyes, but we don't know. And we're not talking about Paul today. We're talking about you and I. There will be struggles in your own household. Don't let the enemy use it to discredit you. You are no less sent from God. You are no less used by God. Don't let people try to pigeonhole you because something has happened in your background, that you're fighting an issue with a family member or a struggle or sickness. Sickness, I've seen people have some of the greatest healing ministries around that they could touch and call out and speak over, and sicknesses would be healed, and yet they have to deal with a struggle or physical infirmity in their own life. Yes, child of God, you can be gifted and still have a struggle in your own household. Isn't it amazing that we don't think that our preachers should never struggle, which is crazy. You know, it said all have sinned. So we all have some struggle or some falling short of the glory of God. Look, child of God, there will be struggles in your house. But the question of the hour is, will you allow the enemy to use the fact that you have struggles in your own household to nullify you? Or will you move on past the struggle? Most of the greats in the Holy Writ, they had struggles, but they kept pressing on. That's why God's calling us to walk by faith. He doesn't want you to keep your eyes on your struggle. He don't want you to keep your senses on your struggle. He wants you to walk by faith and move into that which he is called to. Yes, you will have struggles in your own household. God didn't send your struggle to nullify you. God sent the struggle that he may show himself strong on your particular behalf. Look, child of God, my prayer is that you won't freak out when you see a struggle in your own household. One passage of scripture said that your enemies will be those of your own household. Yes, child of God, you can have struggles at home and still be blessed. It's my word to you. God has called you despite the struggles in your own household. God bless you.